Not again. Oh my goodness. So March gladness has become April sadness in a way. And this is happy sadness, tears of joy. So I just got off the horn with a lady, recent widow, been married for over 3 decades. And not widow, recent divorcee. And husband took care of everything. A very nice lady, very nice lady. And just kind of thrown a curveball financially because she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I'm doing. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? And we're just going over the numbers. And I'm like, we'll call her Mary. I'm like, Mary, I think you're. So let me back up for a second. A lot of times people do this when I'm working with them. I'll give them the right capital access. And the retirement expenses are the key thing for the software I use, the retirement expenses. Or even your current expenses, but retirement expenses more because generally speaking, people who are nearing the end of their current expenses, their working times, are going into retirement. So the retirement expenses are longer than the current expenses because current expenses stop at retirement, if that makes sense. And she only had a 12% probability of success. And I get this all the time. I knew she was kind of in a panic mode, just because when you're looking on, you're like, man, I got 12% probability of success. You're like, oh no, I've screwed up. So we got to talking, and I said, so give me the ball breakdown of your expenses. And let's just say, for simplicity, it's $5,000 a month. I'm just using that for example. That's not what we talked about. So, okay, $5,000 a month. I said, okay, gotcha. What are you spending that money on? She goes, well, that includes everything. Interesting. Health insurance? Well, her company pays 100% of her health insurance. Okay. And she rents. She goes, that includes rent, health insurance. Again, no health insurance here. Auto insurance. Interesting. Because we have those someplace else, Mary. So basically, you're double booking yourself by, we'll just say in this case, $1,500 a month. Because we already have your rent in a category called rent that you put in. She already put that money in there. So when she's billing herself for rent here, and then she's coming back over here and billing herself for rent again. Now, she doesn't know this, but this happens all the time. She's double billing herself. And the guy I was talking to earlier this morning did the same thing. I said, I said, no, this guy was like, $5,900 a month. I said, okay, but we have a mortgage on top of that. We got health insurance on top of that. He goes, no, that's all inclusive. I said, So in this case, Mary, we have to take that $5,000 a month and drop it down to $3,500 because we got that $1,500 a month already allocated someplace. We already had it accounted for. So $5,000 a month for Mary is all inclusive, but she was having us spend $6,500 a month. $6,500 a month gives us a 12% probability. $3,500 a month with a $1,500 a month rent gives her an 87% probability, and that includes Medicare kicking in when she's 60, in this case 67 or 65. All right. And so I'm going over it. I'm showing her because she's putting a lot of, a decent amount of money into her cash account. She's fully funding her IRA, and she's pulling a lot of money into a cash account, a high yield savings account. And I'm showing her, I'm saying, well, this is what's going to happen when you hit 67, when you retire. But the first full year before you're on Social Security, you're going to need about $70,000 from the portfolio. I can't remember what it was. We'll just say $70,000. It wasn't that much, but whatever. The very next year when Social Security kicks in, you're only going to need $32,000 for simplicity. It was less than that, but just hear me out. I said the first year your portfolio is going to be a 10% distribution amount, which is scary if you're doing that for the rest of your life. But once Social Security kicks in, your distribution amount is going to be like 3%. So big deal. You can do that well. I mean, right now, cash is paying 5%. And all of a sudden, because she goes, well, how do you get in that $700,000 portfolio? Because she doesn't have $7,000 now. And again, I'm just throwing numbers out there, so just hang tight with me. I said, well, you got $400,000 now. You're adding a certain amount each and every year to it. We're getting 5% a year interest. You just keep doing that for the next 7 years, and we got $7,000. And again, these numbers aren't true, but I'm just showing you. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at her on Zoom, and you can see she's just like dotting her eyes. I'm like, oh boy. And I said, so I kept going. I said, so when we're on social, and I gave her, another $500 a month of expenditures, spending money as well, plus adding healthcare, because I want her to be able to dote on the grandkids and stuff like that. and we're coming in at 87% probability. She's like, I just, is that true? I said, yeah. I said, Mary, I don't blow smoke up your butt. I'll tell you if it's not true. In this case, it's 100% true. My numbers are quite conservative, by the way. And she starts crying. And then I said, don't you start. I had my crying session today. And I had a little bit of tears in my eyes again. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a big fat baby. Because she's just like stunned. Here she was relying on her husband for all these years. Her husband seems like, there's some issues there, but they weren't angry at each other. Just, got married young, and people do grow apart. And now she's just like, I can do this. Yeah, you can do this. You can do this. That doesn't mean you will do it, but you can do this. If you start smoking light cigars with $100 bills or getting addicted to crystal meth, you probably won't. But she's not going to do that. And just the level of concern, because the way she emailed me, this is like the lady I was telling you about earlier who had emailed me, same kind of thing. She's like, oh no, I'm devastated. I will never be able to do this. And this lady here, Mary, she doesn't have a huge estate, doesn't have a huge net worth, but she has something, and she's building on it, and she's building on it, and she's building on it. So in 7 years, she's good. Now she's got to keep plugging away for 7 years, but she loves her job. She's like, no, my job's great. My boss is great. They pay for health care. It's great. And you see like that relief. Someone asked me a question the other day on the live stream, what I love about this job. That right there is seeing just the relief just fall away, or the stress, I should say, fall away. It's like, you're going to be okay. Now, these people don't want to rely on their kids. They don't want to rely on their ex-husband or ex-wife. They just want to be self-sufficient and just not be wards of the state. And when you show them that, just keep doing what you're doing for another couple years, it just falls away. And when you see the tears, tears of just disbelief but happiness, and what a wonderful thing. And I told her, I said, no. Anyways, we're just joking, but it feels great. You know what I'm saying? It feels great. So initially today, I had a meeting with a guy, and I just felt so devastated emotionally, just having lost his son. And here I feel just, it's like the range of emotions of being a financial advisor. Here I just like, it makes you feel so great and so fortunate that, but it's all about spending, man. You keep your spending under control, and it's just all about the spending. This is a 2017 model phone. I got no more tattoos, right? I already have the tattoos I bought. My cars, I'm still running, 100,000 miles easy on each of them. You know what I'm saying? No new cars, no new phones, no new tattoos. I make all my coffee at home. I always buy when it's on sale. I still love coffee, but we eat. We got a ham for Easter Sunday yesterday. I had that for lunch. Had it for dinner last night. We're gonna have it for dinner again. We do go out to eat on occasion. Don't get me wrong. We usually just take out, but this is what happens when you get that other stuff under control. So all of a sudden you find you're in charge. You're in charge, and when you see that, and with your own very eyes, it's just. No, God bless. Love your thoughts. If loving the Lord is wrong, what? Put in the show notes. God bless.